guys, welcome back to my channel. So summer is quickly approaching, especially here in Southern California where I live. Now for summer, I wanted to do a summer video for you guys, and because of that, I have teamed up with Anne from Makeup Animal here on YouTube. If you guys do not already know about her, you need to go check her out. I will list her channel and her video for this collab down below, as well as right here in this video. She has great content, her videos are so well edited, and she's just the sweetest girl ever. I know you guys are gonna love her, so make sure you subscribe and tell her that I sent you. Now what we're gonna do today is do some sweat-proof summer makeup. I'm gonna walk you guys through it, and then at the very end, I'm gonna put the makeup to the test by getting soaked with water, and then we'll come back and show you guys the results. So let's get started. Does anybody else put their hair up when they're ready to do their makeup like shit's about to go down and get real? Because I do it every time. It makes me feel like such a badass, and it just gets my hair out of my face. But let's jump right in. So the first thing I'm going to use is this Tarte Tinted BB Primer. Now I'm not going to prime today because I am using this primer, and I'm also using it as my foundation because this is very pigmented. It provides a lot of coverage for me, and it's completely waterproof. I've worn it when I've been swimming, working out, like doing all kinds of stuff, and it never budges. Like I love it so much. And I actually like to apply this with my hand, so I'm just going to take a little bit and squeeze it onto the tip of my finger. And it's not like a ton, just that little bit right there. And this will seriously give like the best coverage. And this comes in I think about 4 or 5 different shades. And I just kind of rub it between my fingertips to warm the product up a little bit. And I feel like when you do this, it really helps the product to melt into your skin. Like it doesn't just sit on the surface and kind of like bead or just kind of like sit there and look funny. When you rub it into your skin with your fingers, this product just literally melts. Like it melts into your skin, which I know sounds so weird, but it gives the most natural finish, and it really just looks super nice. I love the coverage that this gives. So next I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. I love this. I am using the color R22. This isn't a super thick concealer, which I like because it blends really nicely into the skin, and it doesn't say that it's waterproof, but for me it lasts all day without any issues. So I just apply it to the areas that I feel need a little bit more coverage, and I just lightly tap it into my skin. I don't like using a brush for my concealer just because I feel like it provides too heavy of a coverage, and I just want something really light. Now next I'm going to go up with my under eye concealer, and for that I use this Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. I love this. It has like this cute little fuzzy ball thing on the tip. I started using this when I first started doing makeup a couple years ago, and I fell in love with it, and then it got tossed in a drawer. I completely forgot about it, and I haven't seen it since. And then finally this last, I want to say month or two, I found it again, and I remembered why I loved it so much, and I bought like 3 since. But you just want to move some product up there, and then under the eyes just do your usual little triangles. And this is going to really help to brighten up your skin, you guys. When you're out in the sun, you don't want to have dark circles because that natural light will really just amplify it. And I look like a clown right now. Can we just take a moment to embrace the clown awesomeness right here? So I'm going to take this and just put a little bit of highlight on my forehead, my nose, my Cupid's bow right here. And then I actually highlight right here, and I know this is going to look so weird, but I promise. I have a really indented chin right here, and I've actually been told that by several people, including some of my doctors. So by highlighting, it just kind of to help bring it out just a little bit and make it not look so dark. And I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just kind of dab that out and kind of blend it into the skin. Just something really light. And I use Beauty Blenders for everything. I didn't use them, like I said, for my foundation and my primer just because it gives a little bit too heavy of a coverage. But this blends out my concealer really nicely, and you do want to make sure that it's damp. We're just going to blend everything in. Now, one of the keys to makeup in general, especially waterproof or summerproof makeup, is to set your makeup. I love this Laura Mercier setting powder. I featured it in a ton of videos lately, and this seriously makes my makeup stay in place all day. It's very translucent. It just has a little bit of a light pigment to it, which I really enjoy. And I just tap a little bit into the lid. And then I take this giant fluffy brush. This is from Real Techniques. And I just swirl that around in the lid and tap off any excess. And then I go in and I start with my T-zone, which is obviously my forehead, my nose, around the sides of my nose, and I pick up a little bit more because my chin is where I tend to get the oiliest, especially throughout the day. And then I bring it up onto my cheeks, and then down onto the neck. And then I go just a little bit over my eyes. You don't want to drag, just really lightly swish over it. Now we're going to go in and do my favorite part, which is eyebrows. And today I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer. What you want to do is just basically brush out your brows like you normally would. We want to get all the hairs kind of going the same direction because for some reason my brow hairs always go nuts throughout the day. I don't know why. Just how I roll, I guess. And then you want to just push up your pencil a little bit. So I start at the base of my brow, and I just kind of make a little line where I want it to be, and then I keep going and continue that line following the natural shape of my brow. Now obviously if you need to, you can kind of create your own shape depending on your brows. And then after that, I take my second line and I start it a little bit farther back than the first line right here. And I just again kind of make small strokes following the natural shape of my brow. And then until I meet the other end, I just keep going until I connect. Now what you want to do next is I take my little spoolie and I brush the hair down in the middle of my brow. Right here is where your brow should be darkest, and especially when you're doing summer proof makeup, you want to apply a lot of pressure with this. Not a crazy amount, but enough to really get the color in there and make sure that it's going to stay. And then you want to kind of fill in your brush strokes from there. Now that your hairs are brushed down, you just kind of quickly fill in little brush strokes to make this the darkest part of the way that it looks. Now I'm going to take my little spoolie again and just kind of brush it out. And by doing this, it really helps to blend everything. This little spoolie is a great blender for your brows. You don't want them to look too drawn on, obviously. You want them to look natural still. And just kind of keep brushing. And as you brush, it just blends out the product and makes your brows look so pretty. And now I want a little bit more color right in here. I don't want to solidify it. I just want to add a little bit more. So I'm just going to go in with a few more brush strokes. I feel like I have like this fun little puff pastry thing going on in my head. Like I'm not sure what this is, but we're just going to roll with it. Today for blush, I'm going to be using this new Dandelion Dew Cream Blush by Benefit. I love this stuff. I think it's so, so gorgeous. And I've actually never played with a lot of cream blushes before. And now I'm obsessed and I want tons of them. So I'm just going to squirt a tiny, tiny bit of this onto my hand. And then with my finger, I'm going to take this and just kind of start where I would want my blush to naturally begin, which is really high up here on my cheekbone. And I'm just going to tap it down until it kind of starts to fade out. And then I'm going to add it just onto the corners of my cheeks, or the apples of my cheeks rather. And then do the same thing on the other side. And this is just such a gorgeous color. This is obviously just a liquid version of the original Benefit blush Dandelion, and I have that here as well. Now because this is a cream blush, when you're tapping it, you want to go a little bit heavier just because you are going to blend it out quite a bit, or at least I am. But you can build this to be the coverage that you want. If you want a really deep, intense blush, you can obviously do that. I prefer a little bit more of something subtle. So what I do is I kind of build it up a little bit with my finger and kind of put it where I want it to go. And now I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just kind of tap it into the skin. And I always start blending from the bottom to the top just because you want the lightest coverage here, and then you want to build up that way where your blush should be darkest and deepest. So to set my blush, I'm just going to use the Dandelion powder from this Cheekathon palette by Benefit. I'm just going to tap really lightly into this, tap off any excess, and then I'm going to start on the tops of my cheeks where I should be darkest with my blush, and then work my way down onto the apples and just kind of really lightly touch them, just because you really want to set it in place and make sure that it's not going to move around a lot on you during the day. But today I actually wanted to use the Maybelline Color Tattoo 24-hour gels. I love these. I think they're so amazing. And I love that they have a lot of color to them. They're very pigmented. And even if our powder eyeshadow doesn't stay in place very well, this will really help to lock it in place and really kind of give us some extra pigmentation. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the tip of my finger and then blend that into my eye. I'm mostly going to focus on the lid area. And you just want to very lightly tap that on there. Now that I have the cream base on my eyes, I'm going to go in with a little bit of eyeshadow from the Urban Decay Naked palette. I'm actually going to use the color Naked. I'm going to go in very lightly with this with a fluffy brush and just start on the outer corner and then kind of do little windshield wiper motions inwards. This is just going to kind of help build a very light smoky eye. Now going in with Half Baked and this little flat brush, I'm going to take this and just pat it onto my lids over my cream shadow. I love this gold color. I think it's so pretty for summer, and I really just think it helps the eyes pop. And it's just such a nice, not glitter, but just like a shimmer color. And I actually wore this in my last video, and so many people were asking what was on my eyes, and this was it, just the Urban Decay Half Baked Naked palette. So just tap that on there, and I just kind of build it up until I get it the way that I like it. And for me, that's a lot. I actually use a lot of this eyeshadow just because I really want a ton of pigmentation out of it, and it really helps to lock it in place. Now I actually want to darken up my outer lids just a bit, so I'm going to go with my E25 blending brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to tap into the color Buck from the Naked palette and tap off any excess, and I'm just going to quickly rub that in the corner of my eye, just kind of buffing it out. I just want to deepen up that corner just a little bit to give us a little bit more depth to the eye. Now I don't know about you guys, but no matter what eyeliner or mascara or any kind of waterproof product I use on my eyes, it always smudges a little bit right under my lid here. So what I like to do is take one of the eyeshadow colors I used, and right now I'm actually using Buck. And I'm just kind of lightly swishing it under my eyelid. For eyeliner, I'm going to use this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. So I'm just going to take this and put this right on the edge of my waterline and just kind of buff it out. And today I'm using the brown color as opposed to the black, just because I want something a little bit more natural looking. So for mascara, you want to use your favorite waterproof version. Now for me, that is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Waterproof Mascara. I love this. I recently bought it, I think it was like a month or two ago, and I seriously am obsessed with it. I've never found a waterproof mascara that stays in place so well. So I'm just going to take this, and I actually put tons of mascara on. I'm so guilty of that. I love mascara. Like if I could go on a desert island and only bring one makeup item, it would be mascara. And I just kind of, I put on my mascara so weird, you guys. I just like blink into the brush 1,000 times and just build up the coverage that I want. And I just kind of go back and forth between my eyes, which I know is not the right way to apply mascara. It's just how I do it. It's what works best for me. You do what works best for you, and we're all good, okay? So I just keep blinking and blinking and blinking, which again, so weird, but it works for me. So I just keep building this up and building it up until I get the look that I want. And for me, that's a ton of mascara. And then I kind of dab off my brush onto like a clean paper towel. And then I go into my bottom lashes and just give them a light wiggle. Now to me, no summer look is complete without a glow. And today we're gonna be using the Champagne Pop by Becca and Jaclyn Hill highlighter. I'm just gonna rub a little bit onto my, I believe this is the A23 brush from Anastasia. And I'm just gonna lightly go over my cheekbones and just kind of give ourselves a little pop of glow. And this stuff is so pigmented, like you guys, you're gonna love it if you don't already own it. So for lips, we're gonna be using one of my favorite lip products of all time, which is the ColourPop Lippie Sticks. This one is in the color Frida. And I just find that these have really great staying power for me. They're very pigmented, and I just kind of put a light layer on my lips. I don't even bother lining them just because I feel like I don't need it. And just kind of go ahead and fill everything in. I do overdraw just a tiny bit. And then when I'm done, just kind of do one of those lip smacking things, blend everything together, and you're good to go. So now that everything's completely dry, I'm gonna go outside, put this makeup to the test, and come back inside so you guys can see the results. Alright guys, I am back. I hope you enjoyed seeing me get dunked with water. I know my husband thoroughly enjoyed doing that. He's been looking forward to it ever since I told him I was going to make this video. All my makeup held up really well. It is great, definitely sweat proof, waterproof. The only thing I would change for next time is my lipstick. I would change this ColourPop Lippie out for a liquid lipstick simply because it did smudge just a little bit, but other than that, everything looks really good. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy this sweat proof summer makeup. Now don't forget to check out Anne's channel and her video down below, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! Simply because I love the packaging, like this gorgeous like ribbed glass, and it's my favorite color, pink, and I actually really like the scent of coconut even though I don't like the taste of it. So it smells